This video is brought to you in part by TrueTech Tools. Quality tools, essential support.
What's going on, guys? You like seeing other people have problems? Let's check out this job. This one's went totally to crap. Wasn't planning on recording it, but we're there. Yeah, it's getting good. All right, so this is a boiler, but just came to change out. Well, I've been doing multiple things here. We've been doing startup of the chillers. It was 70 degrees a week ago, and then it was 17 degrees, and then we're back to gonna be 60. Anyhow, bring you up to speed here. Let's get the old light on so you can see what we're doing here. So we were changing the auto bleed. We already had the auto fill, take a dump. This little thing here adds water to the system. This one here is 3-story building, so it runs about 25 pounds to 28 pounds, somewhere in that ballpark. A lot of things here. This is a 1998 building, so a lot of things are in just bad shape. And then they're slowly repairing and replacing as we go. I've had to rebuild these pumps here. Got to put new seals in that one, which we've got these circulator pumps here that I'll be replacing the seal in, I believe, this one here, which we're going to start this up here in a second. Anywho, here's the problem. Came here to replace that. Yes, they can be rebuilt, but it's old. Well, guess what? That broke off. Look at the crud inside there. That's not good. Do you see that? Well, that's because the threads took a dump. Well, guess what? Guess where that's at. So we're gonna see if we can get that out of there. My goal is and plan, and I just, like I said, replace that, so we gotta get that out of the way and get this pipe in the way. So what we're hoping to do, cut into that thread system and chisel it out. We'll see what happens. I gotta get in here. I'm gonna try to cut straight up and down, see if we can get into that thing. Can't see the threads, and the problem is here, once you jack it, you're screwed. Let's see if we can't get that to break it loose. Not the bestest of options here. Might be getting lucky, very lucky. Because see, what we got going on here is that thread on there, actually I think keeps it from rusting together, which is probably another really good reason to use it. I would hope you can see it. I can't tell, dude. And this is a Harbor Freight chisel, and I'm telling you what, I have been overly excited with these little pieces of crap. There you go. Oh, look at that, Daddy. Look at that, Daddy. Oh, Daddy, look at that. I'm down here by myself, don't worry. Nobody hears you, nobody knows if you got hurt, it's all great. It is good stuff. Can you see that? Hopefully you can see that. There you go. Look at that. Look at that. And threads are a little Jack Mingle frosted, I'm telling you. Jack Mingle frosted. Really could use a threading device of some sort. I have my lingering doubts about this hunk of lovin'. So this is an air separator. Basically, it's got a little mesh and water comes flying into it. And so we got good threads up here as long as I didn't screw those up. We've got that thing completely cleaned out, and I don't think I hit the threads. I may go get the ProPress for the water lines. I've got a water line that's screwed up. I think I got it, bro. This is way easier than I thought. Oh well. Let's go back to the shop. I'm gonna get the ProPress. We'll just do that. Not a lot that needs done, but I'm not gonna fight the water, and time's money. There's my shelf. Here's our parts room. I'm trying to match something up here. Here's the problem, okay? So this looks like it. Look how close it is. Problem is, that's 1.25 inches, so I must need 1.5 inches. That's assuming that that's it. So if we go with the same outside diameter, which I know it's not done off that definitely don't fit. So my thought process is hopefully that never breaks off again. Look at that, bro, got it. Look at that. Look at that. That's like $900 there in fittings. Look at that. Look at that. 19 inches longer. That ain't bad, 3 fingers. That ain't all bad. It don't hurt to go brass to black iron, does it? I mean, it's just similar metals, but so is the brass ball valve, right? Oh. Need a couple stubbies of like 3/4 and 1/2 inch copper water. All right, let's go. Okay, because all this piping is so old, has rubber Victolic. There's what ends up happening. Starts dripping all over the freaking place. Luckily, it's not everywhere. This thing heats all their water, it heats everything. So we gotta get this thing in freaking position pronto fast. Definitely doing dope and tape both. Like I said, the reasoning for the brass, I figure worst case scenario, it should last a little longer than a black iron. Like I said, 98, so thing's 28 years old. Gonna go a little long here, all the way up to just about a thread behind it and come back. And then dope snot the crap out of it. Theoretically, I suspect that tape will give me a dielectric union, so to speak. Sorta, kinda, maybe, sorta. Yeah, you don't wanna be all the way to the end. So like starting back further away from it, work my way towards it, come back, then I'll just wipe off whatever excess there is. Oh, they put that pipe right there in the way. These icon wrenches have been pretty good. Not seeing that go down don't make me feel very good about it. Yeah, I'd feel a lot better if it went further, but there wasn't much thread to begin with. What do you do? So we should have enough here for our bleeder there. Not quite where I wanted that at, but gonna have to get happy right there. Would have been Jim Dandy if I would have used the all threads, which I thought maybe I could get away with not having to do because I really didn't want to. There you go. Put that in there like that. Takes real talent to do that. As far as it goes. There we go. Looking down here, it looks like it might have, but you can see what kind of conglomeration I've got going on here. This is a freaking nightmare. Okay, and like I said, that 1/2 inch there is leaking. So we're leaking on the side of this thing right here. I don't think they did a very, they didn't clean it up. There's no scratch marks, no nothing. I mean, you supposedly don't need to sand it, but what is every valve here garbage? You know what? I should chop the other one off first. And that's kind of the reason why I decided to use this crap, because I really didn't care to deal with. And it's got some cracks on it. Myself personally, I'd rather see this go like that because it's a lot easier to turn it. There we go. And I, you know, obviously deburring it kind of makes a difference too. So there's that. There we go. I made sure to check all the O-rings too, because these O-rings in these were very questionable. Oh yeah, there we go. Definitely can get away from some of that crud. Prep is everything usually. So I'm going to prep this, whether it's supposed to be done or not. Deburring's another big thing. Let's go ahead and get that clamped while we got the chance. There we go, hold that up straight. Go. Boy, it's so hard. Maybe I should go into plumbing. That makes life so simple. We don't believe in it for refrigeration. I mean, honestly, a lot of times it's cheaper and easier, faster just to That was horribly hard. There you go. So we got that here, no leaks. Nice and easy, works. The ball valve up there coming through here. Oh, I got a leak probably on that coupling union right there. I didn't tighten that. So what I had to do that was valve off these two valves here, because we got two pumps, and then the other side of it comes over. Got one here on this there. And you got this one here, which we kind of got the pressure down to nothing, so we got to fill this all back up. 10-piece green Harbor Freight special has gotten me out of the pickle. That little chisel right there is so useful. The punches are very useful. So the money, I think 15 bucks. Can't ask for better for that kind of money. There we go, there's that. Gonna break some rules, bros. Here we go. Gonna break some rules. These are not flat jaws. Great. You're gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh. I guarantee it'll probably work. Copper's copper. That's got a little bit of corrosion on it, and of course I don't have anything up here to frickin' wipe it off with. Man, that thing is not one to give a bit. Holy mackerel. Put a little bit on the threads so it gets nice and tight. Put a little bit on the face. There we go. Come on, get on the face. Get on that face, get on the threads. There you go. There we go. Now, see if it leaks. There it goes. I don't see anything yet. So we're gonna fast fill this turkey. That's what this other valve is. There we go. Let's see what we got on the boilers here. Like I said, I've got them isolated. They got 0. Oh, it's got about 20 area. There we go. That one's only 2 years old. Need to open up that expansion tank again. Okay, got those valved open. Yeah, these valves down here, these circuit setters, these things suck. They don't want to turn for squat. Let's go up on top, see if we got any leaks. I don't see any. I see a little water on the top from where it bled out, which is normal. Okay, let's open this up slowly. I should let it right up there to the, shouldn't be nothing. Okay, let's kick on the circulator. Move that around like that. Wow, it's working. It's doing its job now. Oh yeah. Very nice. Very nice. So it sucks it in through here, so it actually pulls it in on the return path. Pulls it in through right here, the green laser's at. Comes down through here, and then down to here. Let's go ahead and turn this one back on. Water's probably really low. temperature. This one here I set really hot, really low because it's kind of a backup. It's going to do its thing. And I just replaced that valve, which is only at not even 20 yet, so that needs to add more. So they're both kicking on. Yeah, I love hearing that. It's a good sound. Tells me that it's working. It hasn't worked for a while. I haven't heard that for quite a while. Yeah, we just used the hose there to drain it down a little bit. I didn't want to go too extreme on it. Fancy Cleaver Brooks, it's tripping out as usual on the low water cutout. Like I said, I'm gonna have to isolate it and replace that freaking auto bleed there. That's not even serviceable. We're gonna go ahead and take all this crazy piping off that they got on the bleed. Looks really pretty and all, but honestly, you shouldn't be getting that much water that you need to run a drain all the way down to the ground. Luckily, we're near a supply house. It's a refrigeration supply house, but it's a supply house all the same. I mean, I'd be happy with just having a freaking ball valve on it. Bleed it and be done with it, because once you get it, it should be good, but this is at the very top of the boiler. I know you can't see crap. Yeah, it's not serviceable that I can see. Not serviceable. If you can't service it, you might as well not even put it in. That's an expensive freaking bleeder to not be serviceable. Flip it upside down, blow through, and if it blows through, then fine. If it don't, then we know it's junk. I don't know if this is serviceable or not, but here's your low water cutoff issue, I think. Because I literally can't get water up to my switch if this don't bleed, and it's not one to bleed.
Workbench is that, and you're gonna be like, oh, that's the why. She's a terrible guy.
A lot of times I don't tell people, but it's kind of obvious where I'm at. I mean, you can tell it's some sort of swimming establishment. Oh, it's kind of fancy, but what am I supposed to do with that? Think that pops out? Stainless steel.
Oh, no, maybe not.
May not be,
Looks
sir.
like it's crimped in.
Yeah, it kind of looks that way. Yeah, I like my other camera a little better, but I mean, this one, the same manufacturer, but this one's made for getting wet and everything else. I mean, and it's even got wireless mic right here. I guess the whole thing is, if you can't just clean it a little bit, what am I supposed to do with it? Look at that. Look at that. You learned something today? That's how you get the...
I don't think it's unscrewing.
I don't think it is either, but you know what? You still learned something. Or you could be lying to me.
Oh, I don't think it was.
It sure seems like it did. Came out one way or the other. I don't know. I think you're about ready to get a new one. We got us a new auto bleed. Bell and Gossett here. Plenty, actually way more than what we need for compared to for what it's really doing. I mean, for the most part, it's just bleeding the top of the boiler. It's not like we're bleeding registers out. Definitely was not cheap, but I'll chuck this up real quick and it should run good after that, which sometimes you procrastinate on replacing things because, you know, some of these places don't have the biggest budget in the world, but sometimes it comes down to a point where you just got to do what's got to be done. Yeah, my brush is so shot on this thing. It is so shot. Put a date on that. Okay, this is locked out, so turn the water back on, which squeeze, bump. There. Oh, listen to that. You hear that? There you go. Pull it down. Squeeze. There we go. Ooh, listen to that. Hear it? We're right at about, looks like we're right at about 27, 28 pounds there. So to speak, about the same there. Kind of what we have over here on this one. About 26-ish. Clear lockouts. There we go. Okay, it's kicking on. Hold. Kind of funny, that low water one there don't ever do nothing. I went ahead and cleaned up this water flow sensor, blew it out. So the water flow sensor is right here, and it's right on the back side, real convenient. It'd be kind of nice if it was in a flow instead of just a deadhead at the top of the boiler. one of the things they talked about was chopping off the little connector like I got right there. And that didn't work. So I had to take it apart, clean it. It's still doing it, but it does at least get the air out. And like I said, I chopped off the eyelet. It's nothing but a stainless steel rod. I was not going to really talk about it. I was hoping we wouldn't have to take it apart. I mean, obviously the other one was bad, the air vent, so it needed changed. But it's got a ground wire in there. Then there's no ring that goes on the outside cover. It has a weird H-looking pattern, so to speak. Clear lockout. Safe startup. See, like low water bull crap. Diagnostic. Okay, let's go ahead and turn this back down. There she. Bring it down to 160-ish. Nice little backup. Good thing it still runs. This thing has been acting stupid. So we've got that all back together. Hit the low water reset. Even though you can clear it on the display, it appears you have to push it also on that, even though, I mean, it tried to fire. I mean, I pressed it this time, now it's gonna go try. Okay, well, I mean, maybe that was the only thing I had to do is hit the low water cutout, but everything's cleaned up. There was a little bit of crud on it. I mean, it wasn't horrible, it never hurts to flush it, but it appears we've got it all. So if that's gonna run, we got that turned down. Go ahead and finish putting this back together and we'll start getting the chiller up and going. All right, so now we can go ahead and get some of this going. Like I said, I got seal rebuild kits for some of this. Okay, this one here, unfortunately, staying off to the side. There we go. The breaker, even though it was the same brand, didn't match up, but that happens when your stuff's 1998. There we go, bypass. Okay, and then this up here don't do anything. The drive there doesn't. This thing used to be all Novar, and it don't work. So now we've got our load side. So the source side, which is our belt side, we're gonna make sure. So we got water now going from the chillers to the actual coils, which we got to get our other ones now. So we got to turn on our water, get our tower going, which this used to be all automatic. Now it's not, so got to turn that on. And then this here is going up to the tower, which these always have water on them because they're always submersed. But we'll go ahead and get more water in there because that sounds weird. Because we have no pressure hardly at all on those. All right, so, and here's my Dectron, which this has been I recorded a massive repair on this several years ago. Never showed it because it went on for 40 hours or some crap. It was a disaster. That's my Dectron. We're hopefully getting this replaced. It's ordered here real soon. It's all water cooled. So we need to bring water in. So we've got our drain closed. This is from the city here. So this is where normally it comes up at 100 mile an hour. Okay, yeah. It's still coming in at 100 mile an hour. Very good. So that will start filling up. So while it's doing that, see that water comes in through the pumps, actually comes up from the bottom. This is the dumbest design I've ever seen. So it pulls the water up from underneath the floor, and then if it gets any type of air out there outside where we're gonna go, you'll lose the prime because you're gonna suck it up, blow it up here, goes all around, over, and then back down. Like I said, it's pulling the water from under the floor area. That's where they tied it into the tower. The towers have got same age on them. Oh crap, that's great. Just what I wanted, nice flood roof. So I opened all this up because we were wanting to make sure it didn't freeze and break because we went to 18 degrees for a couple days and now we're right back to going to be 70 this weekend. There we go. So we got that, but this is the tower. Oh, that's open too. Guess maybe I shouldn't have turned it on too quickly. This is gonna get pumped up there once this water gets up high enough here in this bottom sump. Now I've cleaned this out multiple times. This calcium and stuff, I blasted it out. This just really needs replaced. The whole thing needs replaced. The bottom stuff's really rotted out. We've tried sealing it over. It really needs a roofer to come in and do the rubber roof on it to get them by until they finally replace this. But this is original from 1998. So like I said, the piping comes up, goes to the top, goes across the distribution tubes, and it drops it down. The fans move the air through it. If the fans are not moving air, which is one of the videos I never showed, it will overheat depending on how much heat you've got. Just dropping the water from the top down to the panels doesn't remove enough heat. You got to move the air through it. And like I said, these pumps are off down below. It's coming one thing at a time. I mean, like that Dectron unit, them things are hundreds of thousands of dollars. So I mean, stuff's expensive. I went through, was able to manually control these. Basically what we got here, you got air handlers in there and you got coils down there. So the water from the chiller comes in, goes to the coil, loops out, goes back, fan blows across it. You got proportional valves here. These are your BLEMOs. They also have one for the boiler. Well, guess what? They lost their control system, so they would open manually the return air and sometimes pull in outside air. Well, unfortunately, they just changed the filters. That's why it's probably open. Unfortunately, outside air got left open and it broke the water coil. And so they don't have heat out of this one. Then you got makeup air coming in. That's actually got an exhaust fan in line with it. You have another Dectron unit over here. This one here, both of these were R22 originally. I converted this one to 407C. It required me to pull the compressors and replace them. Let me show you that real quick because this thing's massively strong. So I replaced these compressors in 21, replaced those bearings and did them in 22. And this conglomeration in here is a bunch of coaxial coils that were replaced, that were leaking. You've got a boiler coil down there. The boiler coil is controlled by a potentiometer, not a potentiometer. It's controlled now by a manual control. The Siemens controller went bad on this and it lost its memory. So this little controller here was originally working as of the end of last year. And it had a controller in there and we went ahead and chopped it out. Since that time, and all the writing, all the repairs, making things easy to figure out what's going on, added some relays, a regular thermostat, put in this Johnson control. That was actually already in here. That controls the BLEMO valve. The delay there was from the three-phase protector. This is all 460 volt, 480 volt. It has reheat on it, which that didn't work right, so I even put in little controls that have got too high. The coil, something was wrong with it, I forget what. Basically the head pressure would go too high. So when it got too high, I'd make it revert back to normal cooling. It was just a disaster. This whole thing is a disaster. But like I said, it's all the relays and all that stuff there has all been replaced. As soon as we get this running, we'll turn this back on. We try to hold about 84, 85 degrees. You want to be a degree or two over top of your water temperature. And the reason for that is you don't want evaporation. You get evaporation in a pool and you get humidity, more humidity, and water evaporates. So that makes it muggy and everything else in there. So, not sure if we're up yet. Looks like we're getting doggone close. Probably gonna get darn close. So what I do on this, a lot of times, I will flood it down that way, and then I will stop it and actually flood the other direction. So that is going to force it through the pumps, up and over, and through there. Then I can feel it coming through over here, which is what I got right now. Now that we got water in it, I think this was my last one I was using. So there we go. Now, yep, I just heard a bunch of air go through. See where our pressure's at? Watch this. So now that we got that, we've primed this. We're gonna go ahead and go up like that, because you want it to suck from the bottom. And we're going to slowly, try not to cavitate too much, and hopefully it holds prime, which, like I said, I had to replace some of these gauges. We're a little bit on the lower end of things. We're gonna give it a second. It actually seems like it might be working, which is unusual. You'll see where we're at on our water level out here, because that big pipe that I was pumping it in on, that helps fill, it'll backfill basically into the reservoirs of these out here, which sounds like we are plenty full, a little on the fuller side there, but that's what happens when you're dumping, what is that, 2-inch line or something like that. All right, all those are running. Got a little bit of drippage there on that. There we go. I had to do a braze job. That's split in the past. You can see what happens back here on the back. It's had better days. Imagine that. We're back on the blue right there. See that? That's how I made it kind of simple for anybody that's not been here before, or the maintenance. They can just come in and look at it and boom, they know what we got. So now that pump is pumping that water up to the tower and down, that pipe that is over there is able to come down under the floor and suck it back with that there. Granted, the water shouldn't have made a difference. It should have been stagnant, just sitting there, but this helps keep it, supplying it to it. So now, should have water coming through our tower now. I'll knock myself out coming through that. You can see the water level came down. See, we got water coming through, and you can see we're dropping water in there, so we're good. Yeah, like I said, I know it looks bad. Yes, you can buy new ones. I don't know, whatever. I guess I pre-warn you, that way I don't hear a bunch of comments about things that are like anything that I have a control over. Everything's done by a necessity type thing. Now that that's done, go ahead and turn this on. Cooling, set for 84. Stages 1 and 2. Everything should run there. Make sure we lock this back up so somebody don't reach in there and cook their marshmallow. We can see the sight glass there. That's nice and full. Another one down here, that one's not so, but it also just kicked on. That one there, that's a lot of oil right there. I don't get too excited about it just right off the bat. So the Dectron's running. Hopefully he replaced those filters. Yepper, good. 317. There's the coil. You can see how badly that's ate up. You can see where I changed the sensor back in 24. And then this newest one, that remote thermostat, it's right there. I just used the wiring off of it. And that's how the Dectron is. That's your evaporator coil right there. You've got reheat coil here. This is your discharge can come in there, which it's not doing, that I can feel. You got your TXVs, which I've replaced those. And when I converted them, I replaced the TXVs. The heads would rot out, so I started painting the heads. They were silver, chrome, whatever you want to call it, stainless, whatever it is, it got ate up. Then you have outside air, it can come in through there, which that's open currently. I don't know if that needs to be done. May want to shut that. Yeah, he already did that, so I'm going to change that position. He was basically bringing in outside air. I don't know, it feels like it's unlocked. Yeah, it seems like it's unlocked. As far as I can tell, it's unlocked. There we go, that should be closed. Yeah, see how it's got a little line? They're gonna get a new one this summer. Yeah, it's just, some of this stuff is just so wore out. Little bleeder that don't work, a bunch of little pumps downstairs. It was a treat when you try to find this out on your own when you first come and take this job over. Okay, we can see the water pressure coming back from the pumps down below. You've got the bypass. Half the building's been getting updated to our control system from the Novar. This section here has not been. Okay, so like I said, I had already started these chillers up, so when I sit here and just flip them on and make them go and I leave, it's not how I normally do it. So there's that. Let that boot up. Old R22. We do oil samples on the compressors. They are screw compressors. You can hear them go. That's the TXV going back to 0 or checking itself, one or the other. And then we won't need a lot of cooling. Okay, this one's ready to go. We can go to auto. Set point 42, leaving 69. So it's gonna run here in a second. Also, if you wanna know how you get hot water, that's this right here. These are heat exchangers. Goes in, comes out. The hot water from the boiler does that. Same thing with here. I did a video on that once. on how to replace those seals. That was a lot of fun. So sand filter, pool, this keeps the pool warm right there. We've replaced a couple Lima valves on that. So then we just redid mixing valves here on that. So lots of good stuff, lots of work to be done here. Do you want to just run one now, or do you want to run both? Oh, there she's crying. All right, she's making noise. Time to get this stuff. We've got to head to that appointment, and that is going to wrap today's haul up. All right, guys, that's going to wrap things up for me. Time to go on to my favorite thing in the world, paying taxes, because none of this stuff is free that you make any money on, which, whatever. So, you enjoyed the video? Want to see more like it? You know what to do. Subscribe, like, and leave a comment down below. Later.